Welcome back to Brandon Sports, everybody. Hope you're having an amazing day. I am here for your SmackDown review for November 28th, 2025. Now, if my mood seems down, it's because it is. This show was absolutely boring. We'll get into it, but my overall thoughts was this was an embarrassing attempt at a go-home show. And the way the WWE keeps treating these go-home shows it's disappointing. My mood is somber because of this show. This show is absolutely boring. It was a waste of time. They should never even recorded it. I don't know why they recorded this. I don't know why they decided to air this. This was just really not a good show. And I'm tired of these go home shows being presented in the way that it's being presented. It is terrible. Before we get into the review, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel for more content that will be coming your way. Okay, so let's get to the SmackDown review. The first match that we had to enter the show, to start the show, was Jey Uso versus Rusev. Now, my first thoughts was Rusev was not going to win because Jey Uso is going to be in the War Games match. The company is not doing anything with Rusev right now, which I would have had Rusev win because he has history with John Cena. Now, this is for the last time. It's now a tournament, and the company had Jey Uso win, which I don't know why they would do that. Rusev should have won his history with John Cena. WrestleMania 31 for United States Championship, Rusev versus John Cena. I don't know why they didn't placate off of that. Overall, thoughts on the match. It was a pretty decent match. It was the same standard. Jey Uso doing his signature poses. He hits him kind of like The Rock when Rock slaps him a couple times, puts his hair in the air and then slaps again. It's the same thing. He just spits in his hand and slaps him. It was fine. The match was fine. Rusev was dominating at the beginning. Jey Uso hits a spear on Rusev. Rusev goes down. He kicks out at one, which I was shocked by that because that's Jey Uso's signature. After that was done, I'm looking at my notes here. Rusev mocks John Cena and says, "Hey, John Cena, this is for you. You can't see me," and does the "you can't see me" with his hands. After that, Jey Uso reverses the move. He hits him with a spear, gets on top rope, hits him with a Uso splash, basically a frog splash, hit him with a Uso splash. After that was done, 1, 2, 3, the match was over. I don't know why they booked this again. I would have had Rusev win, but it is what it is. Jey Uso advances in the semifinals to face LA Knight versus a mystery opponent who we're going to find out later in the night. But overall thoughts was it was just a standard match. It was an okay match. Didn't really do anything for me. This tournament has not been built right. The people that should be winning are losing, and the people that are losing should be winning. Basically, this was just a standard match. It was an okay match. I don't have a problem with the match. It was just the wrong outcome. So we get to the brackets. The brackets get updated. Now it's Gunther versus Solo Sikoa because Solo Sikoa won last week. We have Jey Uso versus we don't know yet, like I said, with LA Knight, the mystery opponent. We get to a backstage segment with The Miz begging Nick Aldis to get back into the tournament because of Sheamus being put out of the tournament because of an arm injury. The Miz wants to get back in the tournament after he lost to Jey Uso in the first round. So he's trying his best. R-Truth comes in and does a ball joke, which I didn't really care for because you put your name inside the ball, you spin the wheel around, and they draw a name. I didn't care for it. He says, "Why don't you accept my balls?" It just wasn't funny to me. It wasn't good at all. But while Nick Aldis is talking to R-Truth, the Miz takes his name and switches his name with somebody else's. So when Nick Aldis turns around, he draws it up. It's now The Miz versus LA Knight. Listen, I like The Miz. I have no problem with The Miz. The Miz is a Hall of Famer. But you can't say it's a mystery opponent, it's a mystery opponent, it's a mystery opponent. Continuously tease people over and over and over again. It's a mystery opponent just for it to be The Miz, who I cannot stress to you enough, was eliminated in the first round. It makes no sense at all. It does not make any sense. I don't know why they did this. Why would you tease somebody versus LA Knight just for it to be The Miz? The Miz is a Hall of Famer. I'm not trying to disrespect his wrestling ability, his wrestling career, but this was not it. This was horrible booking for LA Knight. And LA Knight continuously, now he has to go into the semifinals, possibly, which I already knew. As soon as they announced The Miz was facing LA Knight was going to win. Now he's going to go basically to the quarterfinals and is going to face Jey Uso, and they already had their history. Now you're going to go in and have them face off, and LA Knight fans are already mad at the company because they're not pushing him, they're not giving him his proper just due, and now all of a sudden you're going to have him face Jey Uso again, which I don't even know where they're going to go with that. Next up, we get a weird backstage segment with Damian Priest and Selena Vega, which didn't make any sense to me. I have no idea why these guys are feuding. I have no idea. I still don't know. It still doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why they're feuding. They should just move on. Damian Priest needs to be in the Raw title picture. I don't know why he's babyface. He needs to go back to being a heel like he was on Raw. They're not doing anything with Damian Priest. Aleister Black, I don't know what him and Selena Vega are doing with Damian Priest. I wish this was over. This was not a good backstage segment. The only thing that was good about this is Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest reuniting and them talking. But other than that, this was not good. Damian Priest was interviewed by Kathy Kelly. Kathy Kelly does a tremendous job, but this was just not it. It was not good at all. I still do not know why this feud is going on. I don't know. Even if you go back to the beginning, they're feuding because R-Truth, he tried to help him, and it just doesn't make any sense. For the life of me, I do not understand why we are getting this. It needs to be done. It needs ended. Aleister Black needs to go and do something else. Next up, we have Chelsea Green is going to have a celebration for United States Championship. I wasn't excited for this. I'm not going to lie. I was not excited for this just because they have not done anything with the United States Championship. They screwed Giulia out of the United States Championship. She held it for the longest time. They had her lose randomly to Chelsea Green again. They didn't do anything with the championship. This is why, when you guys will get to know me on this channel, I always had the idea that the women deserve the second championship. But it should not have been an Intercontinental Championship. It should not have been a United States Championship. It should have been the Women's European Championship, and they went between both brands. And they didn't do it. They created another championship off of the men. No, the men have the Intercontinental, so the women have the Intercontinental. The men have the United States, so now the women get the United States. It was just dumb booking. It should have been, let the women have their own championship in the mid-card for the division. Go back and forth between Raw and SmackDown, not NXT. They already have enough titles down there. You have Raw, SmackDown, have the Women's European Championship, give them something of their own that they can build on and have legacy with, and you gave them the Intercontinental Championship, which didn't really mean anything until Becky Lynch got it. Then you get the United States Championship. It hasn't meant anything at all. There's no disrespect to Chelsea Green because she's very, very talented, but they're not doing anything with her. But anyway, they have a championship celebration for her. After commercial break, she comes out, does her entrance. She then says about being the first and the fourth United States Women's Champion. It was an honor to serve as the greatest women's champion, not only in WWE history, not only in the United States history, but the greatest champion in North America. Now please, the continent of North America, now please raise your voices, raise your flags as we kick off the celebration with a very expensive display of pyrotechnics in my name. She does a countdown. Jade Cargill comes out. She big boots Alba Fire. After that, she hits Chelsea Green with the Jaded, her finishing move. I have no idea why this happened. Which we'll get to after. I don't know why this happened backstage segment. I really do not know why this even occurred. After that was we get a promo with Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair backstage talking to Rhea Ripley, and Io Sky came in. After that, AJ Lee came in the picture and said that we're going to win with a little devious look on her face. Not a bad backstage segment. It's still, they're trying to hype up Survivor Series War Games, which I'm fine with that. It was an okay backstage segment. We see Sami Zayn, the Motor City Machine Guns, Rey Fenix, and Shinsuke Nakamura. They hyping up the Survivor Series Elimination Tag Team match with the MFTs, which I do not know why we're getting this. We did not need this. This show is very, very bad. And by my mood, I'm telling you that this show is bad, but I'm just reviewing it so that you don't have to watch it. This show was absolutely awful. The commentary team hyped up the MFTs. Now you have Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, Tongaloa, JC Mateo, and Tala Tonga, who I still call him by Hikuleo. All these names sound the same. There's no originality. They all have face paint on their faces now, which I don't know why they're doing that. It makes no sense why this is going on. The MFTs, from the fall of how the Bloodline storyline was all about to now, it's just so disappointing. This entire Solo Sikoa run after the Bloodline is just very, very disappointing. I don't like it at all. Now we see a graphic for LA Knight. We know the news about his opponent is now The Miz. Obviously, they do a graphic basically hyping that up, which was just so very disappointing. Again, it should have been somebody else. It should have been a surprise like we got Dolph Ziggler, how we had Zack Ryder. It should have been a surprise. It should have been somebody different, but for some reason, they gave us The Miz. I have no problem with The Miz's wrestling ability. I'm not trying to disrespect him as a person. I don't do that. But this was just very, very bad. It was just not good. It was a standard match, which we'll get to. So now, back to my Jade Cargill point, we get a promo with Jade Cargill. And Jade Cargill says that she will beat up anybody who runs their mouth in the company. She's putting all the women backstage on notice. She bumps into B-Fab, and then Michin comes into the picture after that. Jade Cargill says, "You have anything to say to me?" She didn't say anything. She said, "That's what I thought." She walks off. B-Fab says something to Michin. Michin says, "Oh, somebody needs to put her in her place. I should be the one that does it." And then we go to commercial. Again, I don't get this. What are we doing with Jade Cargill? You had her beat Tiffany Stratton for the Women's United States Championship, which I was fine with it. I had no problem with it. But now you're having her go against Chelsea Green, who is the Women's United States Champion, who needs her own program to build that championship. Jade Cargill being the women's champion needs something else. She should have been a part of War Games as a heel to, I guess you could say, buffer the team up, bolster the team up. But they didn't. So now she's off the card, not doing anything with her, which, again, it makes no sense at all. This just doesn't make any sense. And it's frustrating because whoever's booking this show is not doing her service or doing her any justice. It's not. It's absolutely horrible. The booking, this whole entire show being a go-home show. Listen, I know they recorded it. I know they recorded the show last week because they wanted everybody to be able to go home and spend holiday, weekend, Thursday and Friday and Wednesday with their family. I get it. But to have a go-home show be this bad is truly, truly ridiculous. The Miz makes his entrance now. LA Knight makes his entrance now. They come out. They have a standard match. It's a good match, typical match. Not really a heater, a great match. It was a typical match. Had no problem with the match. We all knew LA Knight was going to win because The Miz was going to lose again. He just campaigned. He cheated. He snuck his way to face LA Knight. We got nothing out of this. LA Knight's probably going to lose to Jey Uso. We don't know that yet. I'm just kind of, putting it out there. He's probably going to lose again. And then his fans are going to be upset all over again, which I don't blame them because the way they just doing LA Knight is just so wrong and I don't like it. So their match is over. LA Knight wins. Then we get a backstage promo with Becky Lynch. She's trying to galvanize the team. Team War Game spirit, trying to get the team going. And Asuka brags about beating up Charlotte. The last time she was in the ring with Charlotte, she helped her tear her ACL, which is fine. I get that. It was nothing wrong with this backstage segment. Again, I told you guys in my Survivor Series War Games preview and predictions that there's really no story. I mean, I know the match is probably going to be good, but I'm not really just connecting with the match. I'm excited for Survivor Series overall just to see the aesthetics, like I said, but I just don't see this. I really don't. It was a good backstage promo for what it was. After that, we had Ian Dragunov backstage with Tommaso Ciampa talking about the United States Open Challenge. Again, they keep doing this every single week. And this is my true problem. Sami Zayn, which I'll get to that. Sami Zayn allegedly made the call that Ian Dragunov, when he came back from his injury after he was gone for almost a year, basically a year, for Ian Dragunov to win the United States Championship. He wins the United States Championship. Sami Zayn goes to irrelevancy. He is now tagging with the Motor City Machine Guns, Rey Fenix, and Shinsuke Nakamura versus the MFTs in the main event of this show. You went from having United States Open challenges to saying, I need to drop the title to this dude. You dropped the title and now you're not doing anything. That made no sense. Hopefully that's not true, but if it is true, it makes no sense. It's the dumbest thing. It just feels like you've been demoted, and I'm tired of Sami Zayn's story being, I'm the underdog and I want to be a world champion one day. You're the United States champion and you say you want to give the championship to somebody else and then now you're not doing anything and now you're irrelevant. It just makes no sense at all. It just doesn't make any sense that they would do this. Or he would call for this to be done. And Ian Dragunov calls Tommaso Ciampa a jackass backstage, which I don't really connect with Ian Dragunov. I don't see, he's a great wrestler, but personality-wise, I don't see it. I don't connect with him at all. He's just a great wrestler. For me, that's it. I'm being brutally honest tonight because that's how bad this show was. It was horrible. It was horrible. Next, we get a vintage of Asuka versus Charlotte Flair for the advantage match in the War Games. Now, if you guys don't know, the advantage is whoever wins this match, all four of the other women will be put in the cage. Two people will start out the matches from opposite groups. And the person who gets the advantage is, you basically opens the cage first. And after that, you go down to the wire. It'll be 5 women inside of the cage versus 4. And then the other people will come out last. I thought in this match, which was Asuka versus Charlotte Flair, which was the promo that we got, Charlotte Flair won this match. It was a good match. Nothing was really wrong with the match. I had no problem with the match. It was just an advantage match. No problem with it. The only problem that I saw, that I thought they were going to give the heels the advantage in this match. I thought that Asuka was going to win. But instead, Charlotte Flair won, which I was kind of surprised because I'm like, I kind of wanted to see Asuka win just to give the heels the advantage. I want to see the heels. You obviously always want to see the heels get an advantage during War Games. Even if the babyfaces are going to win, you still try to give the heels an advantage. I know the heel got the advantage on the men's side. Logan Paul won the tag team match for the advantage, but it would have just been nice to see both heels groups get the advantage and then one babyface team wins and one heel group wins. So it would have been nice to see that way. Now, again, in the main event tonight, we had a Survivor Series style elimination 6-man, well, not really a 6-man, but 6 men for each team elimination. I was going to say 3-on-3, but it's really 6 men on each side. Again, you had Sami Zayn, the Motor City Machine Guns, Rey Fenix and Shinsuke Nakamura versus the MFTs of Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, Jason Mateo, and Tala Tonga, who I still call him Haleko. By the way, it wasn't 6-man, I apologize. I'll correct myself, it was 5-on-5 elimination style match. See, this is how bad this show was. I'm getting wrong. Thought it was 6 versus 6. It's really 5 versus 5. That's how bad this show was. But anyway, the one thing I did want to say about this was Solo Sikoa did wind up winning at the end of it. It was a good match between these teams. Elimination match. Again, I don't know why this was the main event of your Go Home Survivor Series show. This company, for some reason, is booking SmackDown as if it's a lesser version of NXT. This is how bad this show was. And people watching it, it kind of gets frustrating when over and over you have people in the community and different creators saying how horrible it is and, oh, you always want a dog pile. But no, this was truly, truly a bad show. And I don't know how they're going to fix SmackDown. You didn't have Cody Rhodes on the show. This was taped last week. I don't know how you don't have Cody Rhodes on the show. Give me a promo. Give me something. You put everything on Raw and just give SmackDown a waste. What's the point of USA Network paying billions and billions of dollars to have this show on their network, which is, by the way, another dumb reason for them to go to 3 hours in January? It makes no sense. This makes no sense. The show went from 3 hours. You dropped it back to 2 hours in July, and then now it's going back to 3 hours in January, which is rumored to be 3 hours until next July, I think. Which is dumb. This entire thing was just dumb. I don't know why they're booking a show like this. It's frustrating because as a kid growing up, I watched SmackDown all the time. Obviously, I was too young. Raw come on at 9 o'clock. It goes off at 11:05. I had to be in bed. You had a certain bedtime. But Friday or Thursday on UPN SmackDown, then it moved to Friday, and I was, you're able to watch it because obviously you can stay up longer when it's closer to the weekend. This is bad, and I don't know why the company continuously books SmackDown like this. SmackDown was my show. The Undertaker was my guy. SmackDown, to me, was better than Raw when you had Eddie Guerrero, John Cena, and all these guys, on the show. And just for SmackDown to be booked into obscurity for years, then it got revitalized in 2016, and then all the way when The Rock came back, they were doing a lot of stuff on SmackDown with the Bloodline. It was just so much better. SmackDown was so much better when Roman Reigns and all these guys are on the show, and now Raw is getting everything. I understand it's Netflix. I understand Netflix is giving them a lot of money, but USA Network is paying for something. There's a brand split for a reason, and you're not doing anything the right way. This was just another week of SmackDown being horribly booked, and I'm tired of it being booked this way. The only good thing that came out of this show was Charlotte Flair versus Asuka. It was a good match. It wasn't too long, and it was a good match. But other than that, nothing from this show meant anything. Nothing. Not one thing meant a thing on this show. It meant nothing. This entire show, they could have gave instead of taping the show the previous week, they could have given everybody the night off and said, there is no show. We're going to do a best of Thanksgiving special. This was that bad. It was very, very bad. And I don't know why they keep booking this show like this. It is horrible. Truly horrible. Like I said, Charlotte Flair versus Asuka was good. Everything else, Jay and Rusev didn't do much for me. LA Knight versus The Miz didn't do anything. Oh, I forgot one more thing. At the end of the show, the Wyatt Six came out, was standing around the ring. The lights went out. They were standing around the ring. So Sokoa turns to see the rest of the team. Bo Dallas, Uncle Howdy gets into the ring, Sister Abigail, and the show goes off the air. The reason why I don't even care about that is because the Wyatt Six, from when they debuted on Raw, and it was cinematic and everything looked good and the way they were presented, have been de-escalated. They were off TV for months, and I guess somebody was hurt, which, obviously we don't want nobody to be injured, but there are people that were hurt. And I get it, Bo Dallas hurt, somebody's hurt, fine, they're going to be off TV, but when you brought them back, you did nothing with them. You gave them the tag team titles, and they're still not doing anything. They're beefing with Solo Sikoa's MFT family. And by the way, I just want to say one more thing. Hikuleo is too big. He keeps getting counted out. He doesn't get pinned. I don't understand the booking of him. I call him Hikuleo. I'm not calling him Tala Tonga, which you have Tama Tonga, Tongaloa, and Tala Tonga, which if Vince McMahon was still around, which I don't want him to be around because his booking was horrible, but he would not have these guys having the same name. The same thing with Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. And then when I say Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, I wind up getting them confused with Braun Strowman. It's horrible. Whoever wrote this show tonight should be ashamed of themselves. This was booked terribly. Horrible across the board. Again, the only thing that was good was Asuka and Charlotte Flair. That was it. This go-home review was horrible. This is my first time ever ripping a show this badly. Hopefully I don't have to ever do it again. It was bad. This show was bad. I cannot stress that to you enough. That's why my mood is like this. Horrible show. Absolutely horrible. But besides all that, I'm still a little bit excited for Survivor Series. I'm not going to lie. This show kind of brought down my mood a little bit. I'm not really too hot about this show. Brought down my mood. But Survivor Series, again, I'll be back for my review. With Survivor Series, I'll be reviewing that show. But other than that, SmackDown tonight, I feel bad for everybody who sat down and watched this. Now, I love professional wrestling, so I'm going to watch it and just gonna come up here and review it. But this show was genuinely horrible. And I can't say that enough. The show was horrible. Booking wise, horrible. It was poorly written. And whoever wrote this show, I don't call people jobs that often. Actually, I don't want people to be fired. They need to take a sabbatical. This was terrible. I'll be back for my Survivor Series review. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry for how this review came off, but it was horrible. This show was terrible. And hopefully we get a better show next week going into December. I know it's going to be Christmas season, so obviously certain shows probably not going to be booked well, but hopefully we turn the page on the booking of SmackDown, because SmackDown being booked this way is just terrible. But I hope you guys enjoyed the content. I will see you tomorrow for my Survivor Series review after the show. I hope it's going to be a good show. I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited. And until next time, guys, I will be back with more content. See you soon.